Hello everybody and welcome to another video. It's me, O'Neal Gerald, and I decided that of course, since the Super Bowl happened, that we need to talk about the National Anthem. And the reason why we needed to talk about the National Anthem this time is because Jazmine Sullivan is singing the National Anthem, and she sang the National Anthem with Eric Church. And I wanted to I watched it, and I was commenting back and forth in my private Discord that is with my patrons, the people that support me. I call them the OGs. And we were talking about it, and there were some points that were brought up that I thought would be really useful for people to understand, A, why Jazmine Sullivan isn't singing alone, because you very well could have done it by yourself. And then also some of the little things that make this anthem feel black to me. I wanted to talk about it in this vocal talk through. So this is not a reaction. This is a vocal talk through. This is not a reaction. This is a talk through. Yeah, this is a talk through. This is not a reaction. This is a talk through. Yeah, this is a talk through. So Jazmine Sullivan has been in our hearts and in our minds very much as of late because of her latest EP, Hotels, and her latest songs, Pick Up Your Feelings. What was the song that she has with her? What's it called again? Lost Girl? Oh, whoa. What's the name of the song? Girl Like Me. That's the name of the song. But yes, Jazmine has new music out, and she was asked out of the blue to sing the National Anthem with Eric Church for the Super Bowl. And there are many things that really freed up her to actually sing the way that we would have always wanted the National Anthem to be sung. And there are a lot of things that people who sing the anthem by themselves have as restrictors that I actually want to talk about in this vocal talk through. But why don't we just cut the chase and get to the music, because there's some awesome things that are happening.
Oh, say,
yes.
can you see?
Okay, first of all, Eric Church, come on with the guitar. The way that he is playing the guitar just brings me back to hearing the guitar in my old church. There's so much soul in the sound, but I feel like the word soul can kind of be a little bit ambiguous, and we kind of don't know what that means. So let me talk a little bit specifically with what he's doing with the guitar. First of all, we're just hearing a little bit of just melodic flares, like just these little moments where he's taking some time to bring out some melody on the chords, and he's not just strumming away. He's actually using part of the chord tones to highlighting some of the chord tones in order to allow us to feel a little bit of melody. And there's also a little bit of a laid backness that is in the groove that he's playing. But the main thing I feel that makes this entire thing church is the choice of time signature. So when we usually hear the American National Anthem sung, we either hear it one of two ways. The traditional way would be to sing it as, oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Just very, it's in 3/4. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. As it got a little bit more modern and I was hearing more people sing, especially at the Super Bowl, we were hearing it done in 4/4, which is, oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? Now, it's a little bit more modern than the 3/4, but it still was not black. If you have gone to, or if you've heard the song Amazing Grace, this happens in there as well, where we take something that is 3/4, and as black people we just stretch it out and we make it 6/8. So it's not oh, say, can you see? We actually expand the bar to actually go over a longer period of time and give it a little bit of a swing. Oh, say, 4, 5, 6, and you see by the dawn's early light. And because of that, those long pauses, we're gonna hear Jazmine actually using a lot of those pauses to fill in with some riffs and some runs. But it really comes from this choice of time signature, so I'm loving it. And Eric, and Eric has a lot more of a part to play than you would think. So let's just continue to listen.
By the dawn's
Yeah.
light.
And he, actually, you know what? Eric is doing some things. I like this. First of all, we get this like this very this more nasaled by the dawns, and then he kind of brings the tone back, and then he kind of gives a little bit of a little bit of a riff on the bottom. Early light, and because again he's in this time signature that gives him more space musically, he can kind of like by the dawn's early light, and so he kind of anticipates the next bar rather than singing it straight on the beat like you would get in a traditional performance of the national anthem. Love it.
What so proudly
We hail, yeah.
at the twilight's last gleam.
And before we even get to Jazmine Sullivan, one other thing that I like about Eric's voice is that it's not, it's very, what's the word? It's very normal, and I feel like that's something that's great about country singers, is the fact that their voice sounds conversational and it also sounds accessible. And part of why it can be hard to sing along to the national anthem sometimes is because sometimes people have such amazing voices that you just want to stand and listen. But if you go to hockey games, if you go to baseball games, etc., and so forth, the national anthem is a point where a lot of fans who have more regular voices like to join in and sing. And so Eric plays the part of keeping things in the pocket. Now, while Eric is keeping things in the pocket, we have Jazmine just coming out and just doing her thing. Let's just listen to her a little bit. Oh my gosh. Okay, first of all, come on. Whatever you're going to do. Right. Right now, and even as she's about to go up to through, we're hearing Jazmine singing higher than she usually does in her music. Now, I have this theory. I don't think that Jazmine, when she has the choice, wants to live in the rafters in the higher register, but she has the full capability of doing it. And here, because of the key, Jazmine is already taking a much higher place than where Eric would be, because she's traveling an octave above, and in order for them to sing together, there had to be a key that where they both had a little bit of access. But because Eric was taking the lead in being in a key that's accessible for mostly the males that would be in the audience, Jazmine is taking more of the vocal fall, if you will, to take a higher approach. And you can even hear that as she's riffing a lot down, whose bright stripes, right? And that's really the melody. But as stars, right? We're finding her starting to gravitate back into her mid register and touching the tops, right? But first of all, she's just singing. I love what she's doing. Yeah. Right? And one thing that I've always loved about Jazmine Sullivan's voice is that her mix is so balanced. And she knows when she wants to bring in a little bit of head register to kind of make the notes sound a little bit more, or not necessarily sound, but feel more comfortable, and also to keep her in pitch. And I hear this more when she's on her ooh vowels, like especially on the through. I was hearing a lot more of her head register come in. So it wasn't just that she's just belting things out in full chest voice. She's actually mixing, and so it's giving her the flexibility that she would need to execute these runs, and it's also giving her the lightness that she needs to be able to execute these notes in pitch. Come on, Jazmine. right? And we hear another anticipation that this time signature is leaving for Jazmine to be able to do. I love it. Let's fight. What did she do? Fight. Yeah. Okay, first of all, the camera needs to be on Jazmine. Where is the camera on? Why isn't the camera on Jazmine? And you know what? Because I talk a lot with my hands, so I'm just gonna move this up here so that you can see me talking with my hands, because we need Jazmine in the shot. But I love the choice that she made, and this actually also goes with my theory that she kind of likes to live in her mid-register. With the melody that she shows, oh, the ramp, it's different than the original, or the ramparts we watched, right? We're getting her actually kind of warm up and prep to be able to hit these notes that are in the fifth octave. So with these wind-ups, and in fact with this particular line, we're getting a little bit of that wind-up in her singing. So, o'er the ramparts and she actually sets up the chord very well there. O'er the ramparts we watch. Like, that's where it sounds like to me where she was going with her voice, and it landed beautifully in the chord that she's at. I love what she's doing. What was the run that she did too? Watch. And we're even hearing a lot of those what are you gonna call it? What should we call them? Like those bounces on the notes. Watch. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, okay. Oh man, we're so galoo. And she brings it back in. I just took off my glasses. It was so good. She takes the tone from an open place and then brings it in. We're so gallant. What did she do? Yeah, gallantly. And that's what I love about this 6/8 thing in this more musical space. It leaves space to interpret the line, to talk the line. There are a lot of times where she's riffing and it's just like, I'm just, I'm going to do what I love, and I'm just going to feel the music, and I'm going to, even come out of the pocket. But there are times like this where she's going to time her riffs to fall back in line. And especially as we're getting to the build-up, she's now starting to obey the meter a lot more to leave room for people to sing along. Come on. Right, I just can't. Oh my gosh, she's using so many different sides of her voice. She's going from a darker timbre to a very bright, almost nasally timbre. Oh, and the rockets red glare. And then she opens up the vowel, spreads it a little bit, and then concentrates it a little bit more in her nasal cavity to get that very bright sound, and it's just so gospel for me. I'm just like, it's great. But then on the underneath, you're getting Eric Church that is still holding that melody. And I think that's one thing that I appreciate about this performance even more than what Jazmine is doing. I know, what could we appreciate more? It's the fact that they left room for people to sing along. And the reason why they did that is so that Jazmine could have space to be able to really sing the way that she wanted to. Because if she had to cover the melody and riff, we wouldn't have been getting as much freedom from Jazmine. So we got that. But then we also get people being willing to join in and being able to join in the moment. And so that's part of the reason why Eric's mic is a little bit higher, is so that people can continue to hear him while still appreciating the blackness of Jazmine's improvisation. I love it. Come on, somebody. Right? Listen, Jazmine did not come to play. Oh my goodness. She's like out here. She's just like out here swinging. She's swinging with her voice. And I'm just like, how much range does Jazmine actually have in her belting range? Like, it's like she touches the top and then she holds the top at times. And then she comes back down. I'm like, What? Get through. Oh, and you can again hear her head voice come in. Listen, Jazmine, the pocket is so important to all of what's happening there. It's like we even talked about the pocket a little bit on Listen Deeper to talk about Karen Clark Sheard and the fact that she was obeying the pocket a little bit more before she went off. Like, the pocket is so important for people to be able to understand and to hear music well. And I think that that's a great it's just great that people were thinking about that. Shout out to Jay-Z and Beyonce, because I believe they were a part of orchestrating this because of the role that they now play with the NFL. So yeah, I feel like it was the best of both worlds. I felt like the traditional stylings of the national anthem, which was the melody, really got some black flavor, and that came from Jazmine, but it also came from the country influence, because country is a black genre, but people don't really know that. But like there are so many elements of blackness that was just allowed to be in African American culture specifically, to just be able to live in this song for the Super Bowl. And yeah, it was really important. I was just like, yeah, absolutely. Come on, key change. Wait, come on. And one thing I really want you to see, we really need to see, or need to hear rather, is the freedom that is in Jazmine's tone. Like, I always try to always look for vibrato that is consistent. And you can always hear when Jazmine is riffing that her riffs are so consistent. Part of the reason for that is because her vibrato is so consistent and free. Listen to even a still there, oh, and then her vibrato starts to come in, and then she just snaps with that. It's almost like a slingshot, There, wait, still there, right? Absolutely. Yes. Wait, banner yet wave. I love that line, because it, again, Eric Church is holding the pocket, and Jazmine is allowed to do as she pleases. And this is how I want the anthem to be sung. Like, if you were to look even at like someone like Whitney Houston, who has the best version of the national anthem, you can fight me. But even if you look at the way that Whitney Houston sang it back in the day, she had to keep it very much in the pocket, because she was singing it by herself mainly. But now that there's somebody on the side that is holding down that melody so that everybody can sing along, this is worship leading 101. There's someone else that can go off about the Star Spangled Banner and just continue to just, lay it in. I'm just like, come on, Jazmine, play your role. What? Wait. What did she do? Like, it was so quick. Yep, and one thing that you need to know, like I was saying in the beginning, Jazmine's mixing is absolutely stellar. Like, you can even hear how in her free, it wasn't a spread free the way we speak, but it was vertical and it was mixed. It was joined with that with a lot of her head register of the free, and again we're hearing that those bounces free. She just cheated. Yo, you can even see she came in early, and you can see that she was already just like, she smiled because she was like, yeah, I totally came in early, but I'm just gonna finesse this. And she totally sang her way out of it. Look. Home of the She's listening to the chords and using the chord tones to get her out of that situation. Like, come on. That was so masterful. I would usually expect them to be a little bit more conventional in terms of harmony, but like Jazmine is just going off. I'm like, come on, Jazmine. Before we hit that last note, we just gotta honor the fact that she's already gonna take it to church and she's gonna give us that like just those very classic churchy notes, the flattening of the third. She's not singing that. Like, she's giving a little bit of some churchiness. Yeah. I can't do any of it. But like she's just amazing. And the run is just so quick. Let's listen again. She's playing around. She's absolutely playing around. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Jazmine is so ridiculously good. Like, I wish more people would actually like stop to listen to her. She's absolutely phenomenal. Like, if you want to hear me talk a little bit more about Jazmine, I actually did a listen deeper on her. So I talked about pick up your feelings. I'll put the link in the description. And I feel like this is such an important moment, just like with everything that's happened within the last year, pandemic, Black Lives Matter, et cetera, so forth. Like George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. Like I'm like, this wasn't a moment that was needed. Like, just to be able to see that a genre that started out as black and gradually had more of a white presence, uniting with a now commonly known as black genre, just like the coming together of those two places, and just the encouragement to sing along with the flourishes of blackness. I'm like, that's the way that you reconcile. That's the way that you reconcile musically. If you love this vocal talk through, I encourage you to like this video, and then also stay tuned for Tuesdays for Listen Deeper, because that's the time where I'm taking time to take my favorite songs and break them down for you guys, show you guys the ins and outs of music, and that's on Twitch. So join me there. I'm here with vocal talkthroughs and just continue to make content. I'm so excited. I actually just got monetized. Well, no, I'm not monetized yet, but I'm on my way to be monetized for the first time in a very like 5 years. So I'm very thankful for that. And for until next time, and if you're new, please subscribe to this channel, because this is the place where we teach singers how to listen. It is my honor to be able to talk about such a wonderful rendition of the American National Anthem, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.